So if you could either close your eyes or turn your attention inwardly, and simply rest as you are. In as our true nature, as the reality of consciousness, there is no effort to seek anything, to improve our experience. So just for this meeting, welcome your experience just as it is. You don't need to think about anything. You don't need to figure anything out. You don't need to remember anything or attain any state. So as consciousness, we are stillness. There is a stillness. The peace. Which is not the result of any activity. In the realm of thought, appears to you and can be functional. It can serve you in many ways. But it cannot define you. It does not know you. It cannot know you. And yet, thought often refers to you as if it knows you. It's true of feelings as well. So thought may be referring to the body, certain tasks that may be necessary. And it is accurate that thought can refer to the world and the body. But whenever it's referring to you, it's a wrong reference, mistaken reference. Like the clouds may not refer to the wide open sky. Similarly, thoughts and feelings cannot refer to you consciousness, awareness. The only candidate that refers to awareness or can refer to awareness is awareness itself. Any model of consciousness is a mind model And at best, the mind can be like a finger pointing to the moon. But the finger pointing to the moon not only it is not the moon, but it's pointing in the right direction to an image. Because the moon, in fact, knows itself as itself, meaning I, consciousness, know myself directly, effortlessly. But the pointing towards consciousness in the direction of that which is real it serves the purpose of bringing you to the edge of understanding, the edge of your reality. And in the world, we are provided an opportunity to navigate our life following the ease of being and the light of awareness. We're given the opportunity to live as our true nature, as consciousness. And when we are meeting life with our interest in truth, there is a learning process. We learn how to navigate the situations that face us internally and externally. Internally, there may be the sense of me, the me feeling expressing itself as self-doubt or self-judgment, fear of the unknown. And externally in our life, various disappointments or challenges in relationship, challenges in the body. How to meet our life as intelligence and as the love, as the understanding of truth. Whatever we hold on to separates us from our innate and infinite abundance. We may live as a son, a daughter, a mother, a father, an employee or an employer, whatever, which are all topics of investigation. Often get in the way of the freedom of being and the light of being. For a truth lover, life is a gold mine. So many juicy challenges. That invite us to investigate and come to realize that that which we are is cannot be challenged. There are no challenges when it comes to consciousness. Just a peace and certainty and freedom and joy of being. Okay, so if you have any questions, anything that you would like to share, please make sure you unmute your mic, and you're welcome to turn on the video if you like. So any questions?
Hey, Magdi, it's Frank. I got a quick question for you. I have trouble with decision making often. How would I take this teaching and apply it in this area of my life with decision making?
Yes. Well, in terms of decision and this teaching, the decisions that are inspired by your understanding of the wholeness of consciousness, of the reality of consciousness, and the fact that it is the same consciousness that is shining through infinite body minds. So this is when it comes to decisions that relate to, that can affect people, that can affect family, friends, people at work, etc. You make the decision that is that's fair for everybody, that takes in account not just your personal situation, but as much as possible to come to also an understanding of where others are at in terms of your decision. How does it impact them? What is best for the good of all involved, or as much as possible. So the decisions that get filtered through the negative emotions, through fear or the sense of lack or worry and concern about the future, and, worry about loss. These sort of filters, they're not conducive to intelligent and loving decisions. Now, also, I just wanted to mention that the decision that comes from understanding and love is the decision that also takes into account oneself. So you're not a sacrificial lamb. You're not just trying to do good and be good. You're also taking into account how it resonates for you. What are the various conditions for you, and how it impacts you as well.
Yeah, thanks, Magdi. I was listening to someone the other day who suggested that I do what I feel like in the moment. And I respect this person who said that. And I sometimes wonder if that's the thing to do. And because I sometimes feel like I'm doing things that aren't, the most productive or the most, I don't know. I know it's not a good thing to look to go by shoulds. Like I should do this, I should do that. Because that's what I've been done. That's what I've done my whole life, and it's not really been not not really been very helpful to me. So
Yeah.
how do you feel? How do you feel about that idea of like doing what you feel like in the moment?
Yes. Well, I'm definitely going to take into account how I feel, how looking at the decision that I'm going to make, do I feel sort of leaning towards making it? Do I feel favorable towards it? Do I feel a little still not ready? I think when I'm not ready to make a decision, I don't think, except if you have to, you have no choice. But I think it's better to wait until you feel a certain sort of yes from within you. So definitely how you feel, whether you still have some doubt or whether you don't have clarity about what the person you are in a relationship with, about how you're not clear about how they are or how sincere they are. You may have some voices within you that are sort of speaking to you, warning you maybe about, wait a minute, So you have to, I think, taking in account our inner voice, let's say, is yes. I think that definitely is an important part of making a decision, but it's not the only part. There is also, looking at the situation and not just for yourself. That's very important. Not just for yourself. You have to also look at the situation, how it impacts other. I'm talking only from the perspective of this teaching, from the perspective of making decisions out of intelligence, out of love, out of the interest of everybody, the win-win for everybody, So it's not the only part. To make a decision based on how I feel is not sufficient. Sometimes I make decisions, although I don't feel fully that's what I feel like doing. But I think about it and I say, okay, it seems that it's really, really important for this person. It's really important. I take a time, I look at it, I express, myself. And sometimes I make a decision that I'm not fully, it's not 100% yes, but I say, okay, yes, it's fine. This is, I'm okay with it, So sometimes you do make these decisions, but I don't mean like I must or I should, because you just mentioned that in your and it's not strictly I must or I should, but to a certain extent there are some things that we should do. For example, like a friend is sick and is at the hospital. The hospital is 30 miles away, and you may not feel that that's what you want to do, that you want to travel and go to the hospital. You don't like hospitals, and yet, in a way, because of the friendship, one could say this is something that you should do. You should visit your friend and say hello to them and just be with them. And in fact, sometimes, we may feel that, oh, darn, that's not really what I feel like doing. And then when we are doing it, it's no big deal, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes thinking about it is more seems to be worse than the actually doing it, you know. So then there is learning in that. We learn that sometimes our mind creates sort of situations that seem to be like awful, but when we do them, it's not that awful. It's okay, you know. So, I mean, because in as social human beings, we have certain you know, obligations towards each other, you know. Like if you are in a area where there is snow, you don't shovel your driveway. You may not care so much about not shoveling your driveway. But when you are part of a neighborhood and the neighborhood, everybody in the neighborhood cares about, you know, keeping the neighborhood nice and neat. So you know, you say, okay, fine. So you become part of that sort of social culture, you know. So, but you may not feel, okay, so if you don't have to shovel it, you can shovel it the day after or whatever. But the point I'm making is that it's not just about doing what you feel at the moment. No. But at the same time, you take into account that. And also, it's not about, I must do this, I must do that. No, it's more, it's a mix, you know. And yeah, sometimes we must do some things, you know. In relationship, you are not alone, you know. You are in relationship. In life, you are always in some sort of relationship with family, with friends, with yourself. Okay, yeah, you can let your hair grow all the way down to the floor, you know, with yourself. But in society, in relationship, it's a little bit different, you know. We are more.
Yeah, Magdi. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
We are more curvilinear. You were more bending, you know. Sometimes.
Yeah. I'm just finished with this one. So a friend of mine has been going through a lot of hardship and is mostly mental. He was let go of his job. He works for the airlines, and you know what's going on with the airlines. Everybody knows, but he was given a choice to either do one thing or another. I think one was to stay on, and the other one was to take early retirement. And he was just really upset. He had no idea which way to turn, and he was asking me for advice. I had no idea. I didn't know what to say to him. All I said, you know, he wanted to know which way he should go, and I said I have no idea, and I really had no advice, no suggestions, nothing. I didn't know what to tell him. So what do you say to somebody who's in that kind of position when they don't know which way to go?
Well, when you don't know which way to go and you have a time available to you, then it's better to wait. And you wait and you think about it, and you gather information. You look at your how old you are, how many more years expectation of your life in average, you know, how much savings you have, what would be the monthly retirement you receive. So you can do some math, you know, you can do some math. Say, you know, I am 60, and so you make a formula. Okay, this body mind will live You say 90, so you take 30 years. You look, okay, what are my assets now? You look at that. And if I retire now, what funds will I be receiving? So you say, okay, then I have this. I divide that 30 years times 12 months would be whatever, 360 months. What I'm just, and then so you take your funds, you divide them. You figure, oh, okay, I have $3,000 a month. I have $4,000 a month, whatever. And then I have retirement of so much money. So you can do some, so that may be helpful for you in that, oh, okay, because there is basically a dollars and cents aspect to this decision. And also, if you really want to continue, if your friend wants to continue working, then there is possibility. If this person has some talents, they can start thinking about, okay, what, let's say I want to become a ski instructor, for example, and then you start looking into that, what would be the cost. So the point I'm making is that if you have time to think about it and gather data, then you do that. You don't, it's in a way, except if he loves his job, if he like it's his passion, it's just an impersonal decision. If you love your job, then you're going to say, well, no, I really love my job. I will not trade it for, I will not trade it, you know. So as much as possible, I would say, look at this decision as just a math problem or a practical problem. Somebody's giving you a practical situation. So how do we make this decision? So I would approach this decision from dollars and cents. And also, if he retires early now, for example, and the numbers work for him, he can still do something else on the side and get some additional money. Or if he has a passion, this would be an opportunity for him to, or her, to engage in their passion right away, whatever it is. Become a jazz musician, I don't know, whatever it is. Now, on the other hand, if they are given the choice, okay, you need to make a decision by 72 hours. Now, that's a different thing, because I may not be able to get clarity within 72 hours. So during the 72 hours, I would get really busy looking at dollars and cents and seeing if I can get the numbers together. And if I'm not ready within 72 hours, then at this point, given that I don't have clarity, and given that I must make a decision, I just make any decision, A or B. It's A or B. You take two sticks, a short stick and a big stick, and toss it. The short stick is A, the long stick is B. You pull the stick, it came out A. Okay, so decision A. But the key thing is, if you pull this short stick and it's decision A, you would be sabotaging this decision. If later on you say, oh, I should have made decision B. No. You have to be ready that at this point you're making any decision and you're going to live with it. you're going to keep moving forward with it, whichever way it goes.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, that's pretty kind of what I told him. I said you have to pick one and then just live with the results no matter what. Just knowing that that's all you did the best you could with whatever information you had.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
all right.
This, I mean, who has a crystal ball? And who has a crystal? Nobody does. So we live.
Yeah, true.
And then you live forward. You're always looking forward. Okay, well, you know, there's always ahead. But you, as you said, I think you gave a very good advice to your friend. And
all right. Thanks, Magdi.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. The whole thing is to to sort of not to add a psychological aspect to your life. I mean, it's difficult for us to do that when we are identified. Oh my God, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? Yeah, I understand that, but no, I think you gave him the best advice.
Yeah, take the fear out of it, right? Because and just kind of hold on to the idea that we're safe, right? As awareness, we're always safe, no matter what happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know that your friend is ready for this sort of conversation. So the thing,
no, he's not.
Yeah. So the thing is that that the one window a door closes and a window opens. You know that saying. That life is like that. Life is dynamic. Just tell them, hey, look, a window open, a window closes, a door opens. So just look at this like that. And of course, there is, of course, initially like, oh, what's going to happen to me? But then look at the numbers. If the numbers work, then plus sometimes we get attached to a certain job or certain situation, and we may feel happier and freer, more freedom in a new exploration. That's a little bit difficult for when we are identified with the security of a job, to contemplate that new horizons. When we are young, it's easier. When we're young, we hop from one thing to the other. We're more carefree. But with age, we get more sort of worried and troubled and concerned. Yeah. And also, like, the fear and all these emotions, they eat at you from the inside. So obviously nobody chose the situation in which the whole planet is right now. So we're all in the same boat, and we all get rocked, in one way or the other. So it's not like he's doing anything bad or his company is doing anything to hurt him. So it helps to sort of accept that. It's more difficult to accept when you don't look at the broader picture. That it's just we have to sort of reshuffle things a little bit, to make things work in the long run. Anyways.
True. Thanks, Magdi. He's definitely not alone in this situation. A lot of people are in the same situation. Yeah.
And absolutely.
All right, thanks, Magdi.
And worse. Yes, you're welcome, Frank. So, any questions?
Magdi?
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Kelly? Hello,
Kelly.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello, Kelly.
I'm just wondering, I'm really hooked into a story,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know how to get rid of it. Or what, like, is there it's like I give up. I've tried. Reframing it. I guess what it boils down to is I feel like my freedom is compromised.
Well, the freedom of the body mind is always compromised. This does not mean that freedom itself is compromised. So when you are resisting only as a body mind, not as your true nature, your true self, not as what you truly are. You are resisting as an imagined character. But
You're right.
You are not an imagined character. You are awareness, presence, being. You are, well, thou art that, you are that. And that knows no constraints, knows no limitations. But the body mind, oh, of course, infinite limitations, all sorts of limitations, but just inherent to the phenomenal aspect of the mind, the world, and the body. It is a limitation. But at the same time, there is freedom. And there is the experience of the world, of the body, when we are not judging and comparing, and it's so wonderful to walk, to sit, to read a book, to listen to some music, to look out the window, to get online and listen to watch a documentary about the whales, or I don't know. So in the world, body, mind, there is always the glass half full, not half empty. Always half full. There's always something. And it's half empty when we are not transparent to it, when we're resisting and I don't know, just judging, and life is happy. It's easy. It's simple. It's natural. But it's the difficulty is not from the world. It's from us. Meaning, we're defending something, we're protecting something. I don't know what something, we're protecting something. We're holding on to something, they say. Why? I mean, it's easy to be fluid, to, not to project so much in your head about things being bad for you or something like that. We don't know. So remain like that. Remain, you don't know, not knowing, like presence, not knowing, and not the need to know. What you need to know will appear to you. It appears to you not from the fabrication of your mind. It appears to your mind. It doesn't appear from your mind. It appears from the universe. So your freedom is never compromised, Kelly. You are the freedom.
Thank you. I see that now.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much.
You don't need to put any constraints, Just live the moment as it appears. Gracefully.
I think it's the comparing
No,
that had me hooked.
I know.
Ugh. I didn't even see it.
Yes. But in our experience, we never experience two. We always experience this. Comparing is like, it's like you have like two things you're comparing, but that's this one thought. It's called comparing, but in fact, your experience is always one. It's always one.
It is.
Right. Presence. This form takes on this form.
There's something you said the other day that was so funny, and I just thought that's so true. You said, "Are you worried about a me tomorrow?"
So there is a wholeness to our experience. In this moment, I'm not talking about our experience as some abstract thing. There is nothing lacking or nothing in excess in this beingness, in this experience, in this moment. There isn't. It's all complete, all perfect, just as it it was designed as God designed it, just like that. Perfect. And we need to recognize this perfection. But we cannot recognize this perfection, as you just said, Kelly, when we are comparing, when we're saying, oh, no, this was better, this is worse, should be, no. Then what we are doing, we are not celebrating the magnificence. Instead, we are trying to see how we can screw it up, see if we can, let me
make it better.
screw it up. Make it better. And then, so that's when the, the spin,
yes,
of thought, and of course of the feelings we
I feel so relieved. It's almost like it's none of my business, in a way.
Yes. But they say your business is God's business.
Yeah.
So our business, if you want to look at that, is just God, is truth, love, beauty, sweetness, intelligence, caring, That's our business. That's a good business. That's a really good business. I don't mean about being a apostle or anything like that. No, but to be in our experience as this open, we're open to God's expression. And God's expression is never, there is nothing that is not God's expression. It's all God's expression. So we're open to God's expression, God's manifestation, and God's being as our being. Our being, the sense of being, is not my own personal being. It's not like, oh yeah, well, listen, here's my sense of being. No, it's being is universal being, reverberating through this body-mind. Not as a separate expression, as a particular expression, one could say, but not separate, like the currents in the ocean. They may have the particular quality, but they're all made out of water. So any questions? Okay, well, very lovely to be with you all. So thank you, Kelly and Holger, Lena, Amna, Zoe, Adrienne, John, Marga, Ola, Brian, and Frank, and Shiva. Thank you all.
Thank you, Magdi.
Lovely to see you.
Thanks, Maggie.
Peace.